The movement is basically we control both wrists, we push one in and pull the other forward, and then we go to the triangle. And this works if our partner lets us do it. But if Sammy now just stays up, so if you just stay, you can sit down on your ankles, yeah. If you just stay straight now, and I do this, it's not going to work. So we will learn a better wrist setup, but that's the second drill. For the first drill, I want you to think about the proper finishing mechanics. So another problem with being here and pushing our hips together, pushing our knees together this way, is that this motion is not very strong. A much stronger motion is this one, with a lot more power doing this. So instead of forming a triangle like this, we want to point our shins more in the same direction and have the triangle here. Okay, it's still a triangle, but this triangle is much easier to close. If I try to close this one, it's never going to be completely closed. You can see there's still a space here. If I close this one, so now I'm not entirely in the grip of my knee anymore, but a bit more forward, a bit more on the calf. If I close this one, it closes completely. You can see there's no space left here. And again, this motion is just stronger. So that's what we want. Another thing we want is, you can see this tendon here. If I tighten my thigh, this tendon stands out, and this tendon can really cut into the artery. So this is what we need to finish. When we try to finish a triangle, we want to tighten this thigh so that this tendon is hard. Alright? And finally, we want the leg on the front of the neck. We don't want it on the back. This is where most of the neck muscles are. We want it here where the artery actually is. So Sammy goes on his knees. I have him here. I want my leg here. Can you see that? And this here cutting into his neck. Okay? So the most important part for properly finishing a triangle, for getting the kind of lock that we want, where we get this motion instead of this one, is we need to create an angle. If Sammy is in front of me, this is not going to work. So I need to, again, like we did with the arm bar, underhook a leg, create an angle, and now you can see the shoulder goes out of my lock. This is very nice because we figured out before that if the shoulder is inside, it stops us from strangling. So if it's outside completely, we can reduce the space a lot. Now my leg is on the front of Sammy's neck, my other leg goes here, and now without even locking, if I just apply the right pressure, I can tap him. Okay? In a fight it's going to be more difficult, so I will have to lock. But you see, I don't even bring his arm across. I can do that to make it even stronger, but I don't need it. I can have the arm here and still fairly easily finish him. So these finishing mechanics is what we practice now. I want you all to group up. But okay, we just talked about how this is not a very good setup, or I don't know if I said it, but it isn't. This is not a very good setup. Why? Because his posture can stay up, right? So if he stays up, it's going to be very hard to get a triangle from here. So what I want to do instead is I want to only control one wrist. The more important one here is the one that we push, because we need to get the arm out of the way. So instead of doing this, we will just make sure we get one wrist. Okay, we can do that by going under one arm here so that's out of the way, and then pushing the wrist here. And then we grab a collar tie again. Like with the arm bar, we want to hold him down. So we grab his head, we hold it down. Now we just push the wrist in from here. Boop. Lock the triangle again. Okay, create the angle. Really create as much of an angle as you can. I see some of you only going like here. It's better if you go here. You want the shoulder to be completely outside of your lock, right? So that you can really bring your legs together. And then try not to bring this leg forward, because we want to keep this part on the neck, on the front of the neck. So try not to bring this leg forward too much. Try to bring the other one back. Lock and finish. Okay, I'll show the setup again. We get one wrist, we get the head, we push the wrist in, and we bring the leg over. Yeah? Then we underhook again, we pivot, we lock, and we finish. Okay? Has everybody understood that? Can you do it? Okay, then pair up. We're going to start worrying more about control. So we want to avoid someone escaping our triangle. A big part of that is already accomplished by creating an angle that already shuts down a lot of the possible escapes if we do it right. But now we also we want to make sure that we keep the posture broken. So we start by attaching to the head. But now as soon as we have this leg over, a much better way to control the posture is to simply grab the shin. Okay? Once we have that shin, we don't even need to worry too much about this leg for the moment. We want to make sure that the arm stays inside, but apart from that, we don't need to clamp together too much. We just grab the shin, and then we create an angle, like this. Okay? Easy. Now, we're going through a different setup. In the first seminar, I showed you an armbar, and in the second, we basically only did armbar stuff. So, we will look, were all of you here last week? Yeah. All of you? Yes? Okay, nice. Then I don't have to explain the top lock again. So, again, we start with the armbar setup from last week. We have the head, and we push one arm to the middle of our body. And now we adjust our body, and we go to the top lock. You all remember this? Yes? Okay. Now if I'm tight enough, I will keep him here. But if I'm not tight enough, or Sami is very strong, he will pull his arm out, because he will notice that the arm is in danger. Yeah. As soon as he pulls out, where am I? This is a triangle position again. So now if I grab my shin and adjust my angle again, I have a triangle choke again. Okay? So this is the next setup that we look at. We go to a top lock. So we start from the armbar setup from last time. Hold the arm inside, hold the head. Right? Adjust our body. Sorry, I'm doing something wrong here. Okay, adjust our body and create a top lock. Okay, so then he pulls out the arm. I grab my own shin off the leg that's next to his neck, okay? Not the leg that's under his arm, but this one, the choking leg, the strangling leg. I grab the shin, then I underhook his leg, and I turn. I create my angle, far enough, I keep Sami on top of me. And now I can even, let's for this time, keep hold of the shin. That's going to make the strangle even stronger. So here and yeah. All right. One more time. Sorry. We're here. We have the armbar set up. Push against the arm. Hold the head. Adjust our body. Get the top lock. Sami pulls out. Grab the shin of the choking leg. Adjust our angle. Keep hold of the shin. So we can pull his head inside like this. Get the lock and choke. Okay? Everybody group up and try this. As long as we have a head, when Sami tries to posture up, and he's really strong, yeah, I come up with him. I can't hold him down. Now what I can do is I can post and get even higher up. And now I want to cover his knee so that he can't move it out. And then I want to get my other foot behind myself so I can drive forward. And now I can drive. Sami opens. Do you remember the sweep?
Yeah,
yes. We did that in the first one. Now today, Sami can stop this sweep. Sami, this time try to stop me. Okay, try to stop me when I'll tell you when. And here you come up. I'm here and now try not to fall, okay? Right, we post out this arm. Obvious response because I'm not controlling this arm. There is a version of the sweep where we control this arm. But that's not what we want. We actually want him to post out. Because as soon as he does this, he gives us an opening. Stay strong, Sami, okay? I'm going to put a lot of weight on you. I have him. I hook my leg over his back so that I can climb him. Now all my weight is off this leg. This leg is very light, which means I can easily bring it here. And I'm in a triangle again. Okay? Understand the connection here? So we're giving him another dilemma. The dilemma is either fall or get strangled. Not very good choices, both of them, but falling is probably the slightly better one in this case. But we're consciously leaving a door open for him to stop our sweep. And this helps us predict what he can do. So we leave him an obvious counter so that we can be relatively sure what the counter will be. And if we already expect what he does, then we can react much quicker to it. Okay, so this is a concept that the better you get, the more you will try to apply. You leave open little doors and push your opponent to go a certain way so that you can expect it and then use it against him. All right? Again, I have his head, he postures up, I come up for the sweep, I try to sweep him, he posts. I get on top of him so this leg becomes light, and then I bring it across his neck. I grab my shin again, like before, I underhook his leg, and then I lock. Talk about the front triangle, and if Sammy tries to lock here from the front, yeah, I just drive forward and I open his lock. Okay? Now, if Sammy turns now, if Sammy creates an angle as we just practiced, what happens if I drive forward? Now, stay low. Come on, don't just let me break it. Come on top. Yeah. Did I improve my situation?
Only worse.
No. Yeah, okay, let me go. So, creating an angle already kills some of the defenses. Now we're looking, well, the escape that we look at now is also killed when you create an angle really well. Basically, once your opponent has a really good angle and a locked triangle, you've probably lost. That's, yeah. If your opponent is good and they get the proper angle, you've probably lost, so you have to stop them from creating an angle. The way you do that, there's different ones, but today we just look at the one that I like best at the moment. Sammy locks the triangle. I have this arm down, I can't allow him to bring the arm across, and what I do now is I post my hand on his hip. Now if Sammy tries to create an angle, it's difficult, right? It doesn't work because your hip has to go out.
Yeah.
If your hip can't go out, then you can't create an angle.
I need this one here.
Yes, so I'm stopping the most important part of his move. He could still strangle me from here, but my hip is, my shoulder is really deep inside his lock, so it's difficult. And also, what I can do from here is now, I push against this and I move my body here so that this arm can come through to the position where the first hand is. Do you see this? Yes? So my hand is here now. Try to stay locked, Sammy. I hug his leg and I go here. Do you feel like you can strangle me? No, it's over from here. And now we just pass this guard and we're in a winning position. Okay? Let's look at that again. Then it gets me in a triangle. I keep my arm low on the ground. I post against his hip. Let's turn so everybody sees this. I post against his hip. He can't trip. He can't create an angle now if I keep enough pressure here. I go with my arm here and I hug his leg here. Okay? Once I have this, there's no more triangle. Now I can simply pass this guard. Do we understand this?
One more time.
One more time.
Same position. Maar nu staat hij aan die kant, dan kun je beter daar staan.
Okay, well actually this is a really bad angle. Yeah, like this. Okay, I post against his hip. I go under, I hug his leg, and the lock is open. I get his leg out of the way, and I move to side mount. Okay? Or even like from here, this is kind of in between side mount and back mount. If I manage to pull him on top of me here, I can just go straight to the back. Alright, now we practice this escape. We're all with one person being on their knees in the guard of the other. Yeah? And all of the attacks that we've gone through so far have come from here. Well, last time we looked at what happens when somebody stands up and we sweep them right away. But most of what we looked at has come from our opponent being on their knees. Now, if our opponent is very good, then most of the time they won't be on their knees in our guard because they know they can be attacked easily. So most good opponents are going to try to pass your guard standing. So we need to learn how to deal with this. Now to just try out what new problems come from this, we will do a short drill now where one person is on their back and the other person tries to pass their guard. So the person on the bottom, their only goal is to keep their legs in between themselves and the opponent, so to not get past. And the opponent's goal is to pass into side mount or any other better position and guard. So what this looks like is Sammy tries to pass. Just somehow get rid of my legs. Yeah, keep going. and I don't let him, okay? He's going, keep going, keep passing, keep passing, keep passing. Keep passing. Okay, eventually he gets me, right? And then we reset. Then we switch, and the other person does this. No, actually we don't switch. The same person keeps going, okay? We do a switch after 3 minutes. Okay. If I'm here, I want to get close to him. I want to be connected. I just don't want to be here because this is very. It can work, but if Sammy is good, he will just keep his knees close to his chest. And now a lot of the passing that I can do is going to be very difficult. So one thing that makes this easier is we enter into something called De La Riva guard. You don't need to remember the name, but basically we connect our leg to his leg here. We step into his knee, into the crook of his knee here. And then we have his leg either outside, or on our hip, or inside. These are really the only 3 options. I mean, you might have it up here, but that's basically the same as having it outside. If it is outside, from here, we can underhook this leg and move it past our body. Once it's here, we've passed. Pretty much the same thing when it's on our hip. We just kind of bump it away. It's here, we've passed. If it's inside, now we have to be quick and we have to trick him a little bit. We do this. Up, and we're passed. Okay? So again, I'm in the riva. Sammy's leg is on my hip. I pass it by. I get it to the ground. Put your leg somewhere else. It's outside. I underhook it. I pass it by. I'm down on the ground. From here, this we count already as a pass. Ideally, I want you to get really close and put your weight on the other person. But as soon as the leg is out of the way, you're pretty much passed. Leg inside. From here, I push it through, and I just go down. Don't land on the knee. It's going to be painful, for some of us at least. We just push on it, and we go down. From here, I'm still kind of stuck. If he now locks his legs together here, yeah, then I'm in half guard. So I don't want that. Ideally, I want to go over right away. But even if he does it, it doesn't matter. We're still fairly close to passing. Now from here, we can strip this leg off and still go to mount. Okay? Again, the 3 different moves. I'll do it on this side this time. His leg is outside. What do I do? When his leg is here, what do I do?
In front of you.
I go under and move it out of the way. Okay? And I'm down. Side control. I'm up. I'm standing here. His leg is on my hip. What do I do? Push it away. Yeah. For me, I like to push my hip forward a little bit to move it and then go back. So that makes it easier for me to create the space to move it than if I would just try to move it here. If he's tight against my hip, tight, make some pressure. Yeah, this can be a bit difficult. So this makes it easier for me. And then we just kind of drag it away and drag ourselves closer. All of these passes are called leg drag passes because we drag a leg. Okay? Well, in this one we actually push a leg, but whatever. We drag ourselves over the leg. So here, here, and here. Yeah. So if I'm here, this is not a very good De La Riva guard for me. That's why it's easy for him to pass. So I'm directly in front of him, and my leg is past my hip. He's really, you want to have more pressure here, yeah. So I can't do a whole lot with this leg. Now what would be a good situation for me? A good De La Riva guard is if I have an angle. If I'm more closer to one leg than the other, because then now I can bring my leg more around his leg. So I have more control here. I can point his knee more inward, so I can do all kinds of things. I can off-balance him. But the main thing, well, I can also do stuff like this. I can, you know, whatever. But the main thing that we look at for now is we just bring our knees together. The knee on the inside, or the leg on the inside, is higher than the other one. So one leg is here, higher on his leg, the other is lower on his leg. And now all we do is we turn our body a little and point our knees this way. But you try to stay standing, Sammy, okay? You're going to have to step your foot back to keep your balance. So now as he, come forward again. As he steps back, I catch his leg, okay? I'm already close, I just need to extend it to catch. As soon as I catch it, my other foot goes to his hip. And now I just gently pull him down. Don't push hard here because it hurts. A little bit of force is all you need. Just a little bit of pressure. Again. I'm in the riva. I have a good de la riva, so I'm angled off here. I put my knees together. I force Sammy to step back. I catch his leg. And I put him down. One more time. I'm here. Step by step, remember. First, we want to be here. We don't want to be in front of him. We want to look at him sort of from the side. Then we have our legs close to his leg, closely connected, and the inside leg is higher. So now when we point outside, we get kind of a wrenching effect, you know? We press here, and so his leg will turn, and he will have to step back. So we turn, we catch his leg, we hold his ankle all the time, we go to his hip, and we gently put him down. Okay? Pair up and try.